Hey, how's it going? I'm Nick Aska and welcome back to I Could Do That DIY for another custom doll. Step 1. Doll prep and planning. Today we're taking on another procrastination doll, this Draculaura that I previously rerouted and did a face up on but decided to take it off. So for this doll, I'm going to do Princess Bubblegum. I've been watching Adventure Time a lot while I'm working and noticed that Princess Bubblegum has lots of different looks. So let's give her a new look. The hair is obviously already decided, it's going to be a side part and it's bubblegum pink, and I decided we're going to give her like a little party dress, kind of like this and that. Yeah, let's do it more Lolita and more in my style, so lots of sparkle and super cute. So here's a sketch of what we'll be making today. I wanted to interpret her original outfit a little bit different, so we're taking her Peter Pan and dropping it down around her shoulders, changing her waistband into bows, really exaggerating that puff sleeve, and giving her definitely a more princess skirt on the bottom. Really poofy and super Lolita. She's also going to have bloomers and stockings. So yeah, let's get into it. Here are all the pattern pieces that we'll be using today. I made them off screen. There's a lot of different stuff, so yeah. Step 2. Outfit. So here is the bodice piece and the facing that's going to go around the neck. It's also going to get a little collar piece that we're just going to sew in there like that. It's going to look like that. Cool. Then this is the sleeve. We're just going to sew that in here after we gather it in. This is the first skirt poof. We're going to gather that up there and also hem the bottom. These are the two layers for the underskirt. We're going to sew those together off screen as well. And the bloomer pieces. We're going to need to cut 4 of these. This is the stocking, and yeah, let's get into it. Let's start cutting everything out. First, we're going to grab our fabric. These are the fabrics we'll be using, lots of cottons. There's going to be a pink cotton, a purple cotton. We're not going to use this lavender cotton or this lace, but we are going to use this white cotton and this power mesh. So yeah, let's start marking everything out and then cut everything out. So I'm going to start by laying my fabric out on a fold because the center front of the bodice is on the fold. We're going to put that right here, just like that. Then we're going to trace it with my pencil, right here. After that, we're going to cut it out and then repeat the process for all the other pieces. Then we're going to sew everything off screen because this dress is really intense and it's going to take me a really long time. So I'll come back to you after I sewed it. So here is the finished outfit all sewn. Here it is, it's looking good. These are the shoes we're going to be using, but we're going to paint them. We're going to paint them purple and also add some bows, just like the waist. Looks super cute, I'm really happy with the results so far. But it does need some sparkle because this is this channel and we love sparkle here. So let's add some sparkle. Let's start by painting the shoes purple with acrylic paint. I'm just going to put them on some spare legs and get painting. After a couple coats, I'll seal it with Mr. Super Clear and get to adding some sparkle. Alright, so I'm just going to grab my rhinestoning tweezer and some beading glue. I'm going to put these bows on these shoes. It's going to look really cute. Then let's add some crystals all over the place. Awesome, let's go. So I'm going to put down a droplet of glue, grab a rhinestone with my tweezer, and just plop it on. Position it a little bit, and then repeat the process a bunch of times until this thing's sparkly. I think I'm going to just focus on the purple parts and the shoes. I'm going to keep the hot pink parts clean. I think it'll look really nice. So after the dress is looking really sparkly, I'm going to add some rhinestones to the center of the bow. I think that'll look really cute. Alright, awesome, this looks really good. But before I run out of rhinestones, let's move on to the shoes. So, same thing as the dress. Add some glue, add some rhinestones, make sparkle. We're just going to add rhinestones all over and kind of sprinkle them down. And before you know it, we're all done. Now, let's move on to the crown. So here's the pattern for today's crown. We're also going to be using this blue rhinestone and WORBLA for the first time ever. I'm super excited. We're using another procrastination doll as a mannequin today. We're just going to start out by tracing it out and then cutting it out. I do have to say this is not the final crown. I made this one kind of chunky and ended up making it a little thinner. But I did not film that one, so yeah, here's the first one. I hope you enjoy the process. Like I said, we're just going to trace it out and then cut it out. I'm using a little sandpaper to clean up the edges. I'm not sure how necessary that was, but I did do it, so here's me doing that. Before I heat up the WORBLA and form it onto the head, we're just going to cover the head with some plastic wrap to protect the hair. Then I'm going to grab my brand new heat gun and start heating up the WORBLA. After it's nice and pliable, we're going to wrap around the head and form it to the head shape. Then we're just going to stick it to each other with some more heat. And also add a little bit more heat just to contour it to the head a little bit more. Then it's ready to move on to the next step. I'm just going to grab my gold acrylic paint and base this out. Two coats ended up being perfect for coverage, but it needed to be more sparkly, so I decided to add some gold glitter. I'm just going to squeeze on some gold glitter glue and then spread it out for some coverage. It's going to look so sparkly, it's going to look really nice. I did add a raised edge with this version with puff paint and then painted over that with more gold acrylic paint. Ignore that, I ended up not doing that for the final version. After that's all dry, let's finish this crown off with the rhinestone. Let's grab our blue rhinestone, add some glue, and plop it on. So it's looking pretty good. A bit chunky, so I'm going to redo it off screen, but it's looking good. Here is the thinner crown. We're just going to seal the inside so I don't get gold paint on the forehead with some Mod Podge. So let's just brush on some Mod Podge to seal it. After that's all dry, the crown's complete. Step 3. Stand. Next, let's move on to the stand. We're going to make a cotton candy gumball fluffy cloud stand thing. It's going to look really awesome. Let's just start by painting out the stand base pink. I did also sand the stand base, that's really hard to say, off screen so the paint would adhere. After that's all painted pink, I'm going to set that aside to dry. Then we're going to glue on some pom-poms. I did start by using ELMER'S glue all to glue on the pom-poms. That did not work very well at all. I then switched to liquid fusion, which also did not work very well. Ended up having to hot glue everything on, but it looked really good at the end, and yeah, so it's kind of the same process as the ELMER'S glue. Putting glue down, putting pom-poms down. I didn't film all the other stuff that I just said previously, but yeah, here's, imagine this with hot glue, not ELMER'S glue. Yeah. So here she is, pretty much almost ready. She's on the stand, she's got her full outfit on, she looks amazing. Next, let's prep her for face up. Step 4, face up prep. The outfit was kind of a pain to get on, so I'm going to leave it on while I face up and just cover it all with plastic wrap. I'm also going to cover the hair to protect it, and then tape the edge with some Scotch tape, so that it looks like this. Then I'm going to do 2 layers of Mr. Super Clear as a base, and it's on to the next step. Step 5, face up. To start the face up off, I'm going to outline the eyes with a red watercolor pencil. This just helps me get a good base before I outline it in black. It also allows for more room for corrections if you want to erase and correct as you go. After I outline the eye, I'm going to start working on the iris. I think for Princess Bubblegum it makes sense that she has purple eyes, so I'm going to base out the lavender and later contour with purple. It kind of makes sense with their color scheme that she would have purple eyes, so yeah, let's do that. After I do both eyes, let's move on to highlight. I'm going to grab my white pan pastel and start highlighting. We're going to highlight the areas that we usually do, which are the cheekbones, the forehead, the eyes and brow line, and also the nose, and the chin as well. Later we'll also do a little bit of the jawline as well. After the highlighting, I'm going to move on to the lips. I'm going to use a dark pink pastel and start contouring the center of the lip. After that, I'm going to use my black watercolor pencil and re-outline the eyes. Then I'm adding some lower eyelids with my red watercolor pencil. Then I'll build up the opacity in the irises with the lavender watercolor pencil as well as the lavender pastel. After that, I'll move on to the eyelids. Let's add some more highlight as well as contour the outer edges with the pink pastel. Then we'll wrap it around the outside a little bit and do the inner eyelid as well. Then let's add some more highlight. Let's add some to the nose bridge and to the eyes and kind of just everywhere. Then I'll grab my watercolor pencils and start working on the lips. I'm going to use a light pink and a darker pink to add some contour, as well as adding more pastel to add more color. And then add a little bit more highlight while I'm at it. Then let's add some blush with a really floofy brush. I'm going to just floof it in and be really soft about it and use the same pink pastel that I'm using for the lip. On the next few layers, we're just going to keep repeating everything and really build up the color everywhere. So it's looking pretty good so far. Let's just grab our black watercolor pencil and start working on these eyes. Just going to wing out the eyeliner a little bit more, kind of just keep defining the eyes. Then I'm going to grab my dark purple watercolor pencil and start contouring the top of the irises. Then blend it out with my lavender watercolor pencil. Alright, cool. Let's start working on these brows. I'm going to use my dark pink pastel and brush on a general shape. Then I'm going to grab my eraser and redefine that shape until I'm happy. This can take me a bit to keep everything symmetrical, so make sure you take your time and be patient. After that, I'm going to use my white watercolor pencil to add texture to the lip, color my scleras, and highlight the overall eye. Then redefine the eye with my black watercolor pencil. And after that, continue to build up color everywhere with highlight and shadow. Cool, it's looking really good. I'm really happy with it. Now let's add some highlight to the irises with my white watercolor pencil. Then mark out the pupil with my black watercolor pencil. I want them super big and super cute. And continue to add color to the eye because I really want some depth to the iris. Now let's add some brow hairs with my white watercolor pencil. I'm going to use white because I want to lighten the eyebrow to match with the hair. After that, let's keep working on these eyes. On the next layer, I'm going to start smoking out my eyes with a black pastel. Make sure you're very careful with your black pastel because it can get really dark very quickly. I also added some black pastel to the top of the irises off screen. I'm going to continue to work on these eyes a little bit with my white and black watercolor pencils. Then I'm going to use my black watercolor pencil to work on these lashes. Make sure your pencil is very sharp and sharpen all the time between lashes, it can really help. I'm just going to start from the outside and work my way in. Feel free to erase and correct as you go. I tend to like to do my lashes upside down. I think it helps me get a better perspective and really keep my lines precise. Alright, I'm going to grab my white acrylic paint and add some catch lights to the eyes as well as color in the scleras. We're going to use some super big and super cute catch lights today. And like usual, I'm going to add some glares to the lip as well. Then I'm going to do a few finishing touches with my watercolor pencils. I'm going to just redefine the eyes and just wing in an upper eyelash. Then the face up is complete. Step 6. Finishing touches. So I'm going to use the same lashes as usual, my Kiss Shy Lashes. I'm going to cut them to length, shape them, add some ELMER'S glue all to the back, plop them on, and mess with them a really long time until I'm happy with the position. Make sure you're patient and don't give up because this can be really frustrating. I also use a pin to wipe away any excess glue. Make sure you're very careful when you do this because you don't want to mess up your face up. I usually do one lash, set it aside to dry for a little bit, then move on to the other lash. Once I'm happy with the positions of both lashes, I'm just going to set that aside to dry, then I'm going to add gloss to the lips and the eyes. I'm going to use a very small brush when I do this, and it's just going to go on a little hazy, but it dries nice and shiny and clear. After I brush it on, I'm going to set that aside to dry, and after it's all dry, the doll's complete. Here she is, she looks great. Let's just put her back on the stand, and put her crown on her. And while I do that, I just want to say, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest projects. This really helps the channel grow and I super appreciate it. And also follow us on social media at ICouldDoThat.diy and at Kawaii Dollies. The Kawaii Dollies Instagram is a little bit more doll focused, and I had it long before I even started a channel. After I give her hair a little comb and place the crown on, there's only one thing left to do. Step 7. Doll Photoshoot. So here she is, here's my interpretation of Princess Bubblegum. I love her, she looks super cute and super Lolita. I'm really happy with the results, I think it looks really good. The dress and the outfit look amazing. There's so many pieces, there's the top portion, the top skirt, the petticoat, the bloomers, the stockings, and the shoes. And the crown. So yeah, there's a lot, but it looks amazing. It is slightly different from my original sketch, but I'm happy with it nonetheless. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. The rest of the video, just feel the fantasy and enjoy the pictures. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!